Hey gang, Professor Feeser here, and in today's video we're talking about Python looping. Now there's a couple different ways to do a loop in Python. So specifically, we're going to talk about the for statement. The for statement wants a collection, it wants a series, it wants something that can be worked across. A good example might be a list. A list has items in it. We'd want to step across those items one after another. Looking at my screen, you'll notice that I'm at docs.python.org. This is the official documentation for Python, and this is where you need to go to make confirmations when you're just unsure. Unfortunately, the documentation can be very overwhelming, especially when you're first starting out. In this example, they're showing us that words is a list that has three items in it: cat, window, and defenestrate. They're then using the for statement to create a counting loop for W in words. W is cat, then W is window, then W is defenestrate. Notice words ends with a colon. That means the next line is going to be indented, and that indentation is showing a relationship. The code we want to run each time through the loop is indented. What are we doing? We're printing W, that's going to be cat, window, defenestrate. The len function, if this is your first time seeing that, returns the length of whatever you pass it. So if you pass it a string, it's going to return how many characters are in that string. Cat would be 3, window 6, defenestrate 12. Gang, this is a series on Python. That is to say, there's a lot of videos that came before this one. If you find yourself getting a little lost or overwhelmed at any point, just go back in the series, start from the beginning. We will still be here by the time you get caught up. All right, for those that are ready to get coding, let's get started. Gang, go ahead and open a Codespace from whatever directory, whatever repository that you're working in. If you have a Codespace running, connect to it. If you have to create one, that's fine. Once that Codespace is open, create a file called learning-loops.py. Call it learning-loops.py. And go ahead, set up your shebang, your docstring, def main, the docstring for main, and hit at the bottom the code that kicks off your program as well. If name equals main, call main. Okay, gang, a loop requires something to loop across. So let's create a list here. Let's say American Astros. And we'll set American Astros to Buzz Aldrin. We'll do Neil Armstrong. And we can do, how about Gordon Cooper? So we have 3 items, strings, inside of a list right there. We're then going to write our for loop. It's a counting loop. So for, we need something that's going to change each time through the loop. Let's choose Astro in American Astros. So each time through the loop, Astro changes. Astro will be Buzz Aldrin, then it'll be Neil Armstrong, then it'll be Gordon Cooper. Because that line ends in a colon, the next line must be indented. It's what do you want to do? We want to print Astro. Just to show us that we can have multiple lines that are indented and execute with the loop. Let's also print some stars here. So we'll get Buzz Aldrin, stars, Neil Armstrong, stars, Gordon Cooper, stars, and that'll be the end of that one. We could write one more loop while we're in here. Remember we learned about dictionaries. Let's go ahead and create groceries here. And groceries can be equal to milk and an apple. And we'll also have an orange. For food item in groceries. So let's talk about our naming strategy. Astro was the singular of American Astros. Food item is a singular descriptor of groceries, which sounds like a haul, right? And that naming convention, you're supposed to try to stick to this idea that use names that are descriptive. We gave our list the name American Astros because American astronauts are in that list. It made sense then to use the word astro to describe the selection of a single item from that list. I'm trying to do the same thing down here with groceries. I mean, what do you call a single grocery item? I guess a food item works. What do we want to do then? Well, we want to print out food item. And that's just going to be, well, if you were thinking it's going to be milk $1, that would be wrong. When we loop across a dictionary, looping across a dictionary by default looks only at the keys. That's to the left of the colon. So milk, apple, orange is actually what that's going to produce. It's the exact same code, actually, as this pattern. If we put groceries.keys, remember that keys returns back to us a list-like set of just milk, apple, orange. So we really are just looping across milk, apple, orange at that point. So this is the same, the loop above. If you are thinking, well, I only want to loop across the values, I want to see $1, I want to see 25, I want to see 45. You can do that for, let's say, prices in groceries.values. Print prices. Now be careful, you want to say prices. If you say food item, the last time through the loop is either going to be milk, apple, or orange. It's a dictionary. We can't say exactly what will be in the last position. Probably orange. But if you put food item down here, it would probably go through the loop of values, but print orange 3 times rather than the values that you're looking for. The typical loop everybody thinks of is a counting loop. And in Python, you can do that, but it's just a little bit different. And I saved it for the end because it is a little different. A lot of folks want to do this for position in 10. And what they're hoping to see, print position, they're expecting to see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They want to see 10 things happen. You can't just pass a number. Python interprets 10 as like, there's nothing, that's just a number. I'm not going to automatically count to that number unless you tell it to. If you say take the range of 10, that will start at, I'm going to say 0 and work up to 9. I do not believe 10 is inclusive, but 10 total numbers will be looped across. So start at 0, work up to 9. Range returns, it makes a numeric iterable. If you take the range of 10, it'll return like a list of 0 through 9, for example. So if we print position, this will give us that sense of 10 times, right? Something will happen. In this case, we're just printing out position, which will be whatever range returned. All right, let's clear the terminal down here just for a clean understanding of our code that's about to run. I'm going to hit play. We'll hope it works. Fantastic. We got a Buzz Aldrin. That's what we expected. We got a Neil Armstrong. That's what we expected. We got a Gordon Cooper. That's what we expected. We got the stars after each one, and again, that's what we expected. Our groceries, we looped across our groceries. We only got the keys milk, apple, orange. Milk, apple, orange. We then said, well, we can write the exact same code by saying .keys, and we did. We got milk, apple, orange back again. I then said for prices and groceries values, and I got back 1, 25, and 45, which 1, 25, and 45. We then talked about for position in the range of 10, and we said we're going to start at 0, work up to 9, so we should see a 0 through 9 description here. There's 0 up to 9, non-inclusive of 10. So our prediction worked out. Gang, this was a great example. Let's save it here. This is a good introduction to for loops in Python. Over on the left, hit source control. Add that file. Give yourself a commit message learning about for loops. I'm going to commit. And I'm going to push those changes up to my GitHub repository. You are good as long as you look on the left and source control isn't saying you owe it anything. You can close the tab. You can close the Codespace. Hit refresh back on your repository, and you should be seeing our latest file committed, Learning Loops, right now. I have fantastic news, and that's you understand the for loop in Python. Remember, the for loop is a counting style loop. An iterating loop is the fancy term we give to a counting loop. It wants a collection to step across. We saw that collection commonly can be a list or a dictionary. With the list, it'll step through the order of the list. With the dictionary, by default, it'll step through the keys in the dictionary. But we did see we can force it to use the values. In later studies, we're going to find out that we can loop against data returned from API calls, additionally through lines in a file. You don't want to miss that. So if you learned something in this video, hit like, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode of Code with Feeser.